There's one thing you need to understand right now. A woman may forget your face, she may forget your name, but she will never, ever forget how you made her feel. That's the law of human memory, and in the world of relationships, it's even sharper because while men often remember moments, women remember emotions. The way you touched her soul in silence, the way you made her feel seen when the world ignored her, or the way you walked away with dignity when she thought you'd beg. And here's the truth most men never hear. It's not about money, looks, or status. It's about the subtle, unforgettable emotional imprints you leave behind.
And before we break this down step by step, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt invisible in a relationship? Like no matter what you did, she forgot you the second you were gone? Drop a yes or no in the comments right now because you're not alone in this. Psychologists call this emotional encoding. It's the brain's way of locking certain feelings deep into long-term memory. For women, this process is stronger because their emotional centers, the amygdala and hippocampus, are wired to connect feelings to faces, voices, and actions. That's why a woman might forget the details of a date, but never forget the man who made her laugh when she wanted to cry, or the one who held his frame when she tried to test him. This isn't manipulation, it's nature, and if you don't understand it, you'll keep chasing validation, wondering why she moved on while you're still hurting. But once you see how this works, you realize it's not about being the loudest, the richest, or the strongest. It's about being unforgettable in the right ways.
The first secret is calm presence. Most men underestimate this, but women don't forget the man who stays grounded when emotions explode. Imagine this. She's upset, throwing words like daggers. Most men either shout back or shut down. But the man she never forgets? He breathes, he listens, he holds his ground without flinching. His silence has weight. His energy says, "I'm not moved by chaos." From her side, it's unforgettable because in that moment, she sees what few men can show: emotional control. And emotional control is rare. It's attractive, it's magnetic. It signals strength that money can't buy.
The second secret is genuine attention. Not the fake I'm nodding while scrolling my phone type of attention, but the kind where she feels you actually notice the details. Every woman carries invisible weight. Fears, insecurities, dreams she's too shy to say out loud. The man she never forgets is the one who listens between the lines, who remembers she hates thunderstorms, who notices her voice gets softer when she's hiding something. From her perspective, this is powerful, because the truth is, most men are distracted. Most men hear words but miss meaning. The one who pays attention cuts through the noise. He makes her feel like the only person in the room. And when a woman feels seen on that level, she doesn't forget. These are just the first two secrets, but already you see the pattern. It's not about big, flashy gestures. It's about quiet strength and authentic connection. And here's where it gets even deeper, because the next secrets reveal the triggers that touch a woman's deepest psychology, the kind of impact that lingers for years.
The third secret is boundaries. A woman never forgets the man who refuses to lose himself in order to please her. Think about it. Most men bend. They say yes when they mean no. They change their plans, their goals, even their values just to keep her happy. And at first, she might smile. She might even say she appreciates it. But deep down, something shifts, because a man without boundaries doesn't feel safe. Now, picture the opposite.
She pushes, she tests, she asks you to sacrifice something important just to prove your love. But instead of folding, you look her in the eye and calmly say, "I won't cross that line." It shocks her. It frustrates her. But deep down, it earns her respect, because she realizes here's a man who knows who he is, a man who values himself enough to walk away if needed. That kind of strength stays burned into her memory. Even if she doesn't like it in the moment, she never forgets it.
The fourth secret is passion. And I'm not just talking about physical chemistry. I'm talking about your purpose, the fire that drives you beyond her. A woman never forgets the man who is lit up by something bigger than the relationship. Maybe it's his art, his business, his mission, the thing that makes him wake up early and grind while others sleep. Here's the female perspective. Women are drawn to men who carry energy that can't be dimmed, because passion signals life. It signals vision, and it tells her, even if you leave, I won't collapse. I have something greater fueling me. It's unforgettable because it sets you apart. Most men make the mistake of orbiting entirely around her world. They stop chasing dreams just to chase her. And when that happens, the attraction dies. But the man who keeps building, keeps chasing, keeps climbing, that's the one she remembers when she's lying in bed years later wondering, did I let the right one go?
Now, let me pause here and speak directly to you, because I know some of you are listening and thinking, I did all this, and she still left. You gave attention, you stayed calm, you had boundaries, you were building your life, and she still walked away. That pain cuts deep. It makes you question if you were ever enough. But here's the truth. Being unforgettable doesn't always mean she stays. Sometimes it means you become the standard she compares every other man to. Sometimes it means she walks away because she knows she can't control you. Sometimes it means she leaves, but years later, when she's lying awake next to someone else, she remembers you. So, if you're hurting, don't mistake her leaving as proof you failed. In reality, the very things that drove her away might be the things that keep you in her memory forever. We've covered calm presence, genuine attention, strong boundaries, and unshakable passion. But there's one final secret, the one most men ignore, that hits the deepest part of a woman's psychology. In the next part, I'll reveal why it's not just about what you give her, but what you withhold. And that shift changes everything.
The fifth secret is silence. The ability to walk away without bitterness, without chasing, without begging. Most men fail here. When she pulls back, they panic. They send text after text. They call late at night, hoping for one more chance. They try to explain, to convince, to fight for her attention. And all it does is erase the respect she once had. But the man she never forgets, he doesn't chase. He doesn't explain himself endlessly. He simply withdraws with calm strength and lets silence speak louder than words. Why is this unforgettable? Because silence creates contrast. It forces her to feel the absence of your presence. She expects drama, tears, pleading. Instead, she finds space. And in that space, her mind replays every memory, every moment, every ounce of value you brought. From her perspective, this is haunting because she realizes you were never desperate. You were never trapped. You could walk away, and you did. That image of you turning your back with dignity, that's the kind of memory that lingers for a lifetime.
Now let's pause and face something raw. Because walking away doesn't feel powerful when you're in it. It feels like tearing out your own heart. You remember the sound of her laughter, The way she looked at you that night when it felt like nothing else mattered. You replay arguments in your head, wishing you'd said something different. And when you finally decide to step back, it doesn't feel like victory. It feels like loss. And that's where many men get stuck. They confuse short-term pain with long-term weakness. They think leaving quietly makes them forgettable. But the opposite is true. Silence burns deeper than words. Self-respect leaves a sharper mark than begging ever could. You're not crazy for feeling empty. You're not weak for missing her. You're human. But here's the shift. Every ounce of pain you feel now is also the exact reason she won't forget you. Because you gave her something real. And real doesn't fade.
Here's the part most men never hear. A woman doesn't remember the man who texts her every 5 minutes. She forgets the one who always gave in. She forgets the one who lived at her mercy. But she remembers the man who made her feel safe, yet never dependent. She remembers the man who gave her attention, yet had his own mission. She remembers the man who held his boundaries and, when the time came, walked away with quiet strength. These are emotional imprints, deep anchors in the female psyche. Long after the relationship ends, long after the messages stop, long after she tries to move on, these anchors pull at her. That's why she might stalk your social media in silence. That's why she might bring up your name in random conversations. That's why years later, she might whisper, "I wonder what he's doing now." It's not obsession, it's memory. The kind she can't erase no matter how hard she tries. So we've uncovered the fifth and most powerful secret, the ability to walk away in silence. But knowing it isn't enough. You need to understand how to live it. In the final part, I'll show you how silence, self-respect, and leveling up transform you from forgotten to unforgettable. And I'll leave you with the truth every man needs to carry forward, that your worth was never in her hands to begin with.
This is the turning point most men never reach. Because silence isn't just absence, it's presence, magnified. When you stop explaining yourself, she starts questioning herself. When you stop chasing, she starts remembering. When you stop talking, her mind fills in the blanks. And here's the psychology behind it. The female brain craves closure. When a man walks away calmly, without drama, he denies her that closure. He leaves her with a story unfinished, and unfinished stories echo in the mind. They replay, they grow, they become unforgettable. This is why silence flips the power. It takes the energy she once drained from you and places it back in your hands. Instead of you circling her world, she circles yours, even from a distance.
But silence alone isn't enough. It has to be paired with growth. Imagine this. You walk away, and instead of collapsing, you rise. You hit the gym. You build your career. You invest in your passions. You level up in every way. From her perspective, that's devastating. Because while she expected you to shrink without her, you expanded. She expected you to need her validation, but instead, you created your own. And now, every new version of you is a reminder of what she lost. This is why the man who focuses on growth, not revenge, becomes unforgettable. Because he proves, not with words, not with anger, but with actions, that he was always bigger than the relationship.
Now let me leave you with this. You were never just a chapter in her story. You were the author of your own. And no matter how much it hurt, no matter how much she made you question yourself, your worth was never in her hands. If she couldn't see it, that doesn't mean it wasn't there. It means she wasn't ready for it, and that's not your burden to carry. So don't chase, don't beg,
Don't linger in the shadow of her memory. Build your life so powerfully that even if she remembers you forever, it won't matter because you'll be too busy becoming the man you were meant to be. That's the real secret, not being unforgettable to her, but being undeniable to yourself. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you ever walked away from someone only to find out later that they never really got over you? Share your story in the comments because the truth is, men don't talk about this enough, and when you share, you give another man the strength to realize he's not alone. And if this video gave you even one insight, hit that like button, subscribe, and join me for more conversations that dig deep into the psychology of women, love, and self-respect. Remember this, being unforgettable isn't about tricks, it's about living with dignity, passion, and purpose. When you master that, you won't need to chase her memory. She'll carry yours.